You getting part two. I hope you're still there. I ain't going nowhere. White nationalists, under the disguise of patriotism, have a blank check to do whatever they want. And you tell us that what we saw is not what we saw. Meanwhile, black people and brown people, mostly black people, because the only thing that America hates more than poverty is us. So YouTube, you got part two. If you stuck around, I appreciate it. Okay, that's what's up. Ah, that hurt. I hit my knee. Black people, meanwhile, have a target on their back. See, I'm supposed to be fuzzy pick, but you can hear. Well, mic sounds nice. Check one. Okay. I guess a lot of people got these regular iPhones or whatever. Let me move on. 10 more minutes, I'm wrapping this up. White people have a blank check, carte blanche. If you ever wondered what carte blanche means, that's what it means, blank check. To do whatever they want in the name of patriotism. Meanwhile, law-abiding citizens who look like me are being targeted. I hate to say this out loud. The other reason I knew nothing would ever happen is because Congress is so afraid that some of these same little idiots that are targeting us might target them. If they did something like, I don't know, hold Trump accountable. Because people like Steve Bannon, I know he has a show, and I doubt very seriously if his show is ever going to be interrupted. So let me put the microphone in my mouth. Let me make sure that I speak directly into the microphone. Steve Bannon is, and neither was the nationalist. They're not going to have to worry. You see, what's crazy about this thing is when all of these mass murders started, it started with Columbine. White kids killing white kids. And then they had to do something about it. But what's crazy about these folks that we call elected officials, they don't mind sacrificing their own. So the only thing they liked more than their white kids was their guns. And let me just be honest, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm a Marine. And I have my own guns. We're sitting around with a target on our back. We're always going to have this target on our back because Congress is too afraid to do anything that A is going to hurt them professionally, B is going to hurt them financially, or C that might put them in jeopardy, physical jeopardy. These congressional hearings, all of this time we've been donating all of this money to the Ukraine, and we talk about democracy abroad, and we go into these G7 and these G20 meetings and conferences, and we're talking about what needs to be done to preserve democracy in places like the Eastern Bloc and countries surrounding the Ukraine. And we're talking about spreading things like NATO. But we've done nothing to promote and preserve democracy here, especially for people of color. So, what's going to come out these congressional hearings? I'm begging you to make a liar out of me. But I'm willing to say tonight, nothing. My expectations of these hearings is this was just a last ditch effort by the DIM, the Democrats, to try to preserve or save a sinking ship. So this is no more than entertainment. If you have interviewed, interrogated, you've gathered over 140 pieces of evidence or whatever you're calling it. If you have a attorney general who has listened to person after person, now let's get this straight. Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, and that little funny looking chick that Donald Trump Jr. is supposed to be engaged to. So those participated. They responded to the subpoenas and they were interviewed subcommittee. But Steve the Dick Bannon refused. And he smiled. And nothing happened. And then Kavanaugh, supposedly somebody showed up at his house and now they're talking about giving the U.S. Supreme judges, the justices, or whatever, guards, armed guards. I can't remember in my lifetime when a Supreme Court justice needed a armed guard. Not even, somebody might know a little bit more about history than I do. Folks, I'm going to stop right there. I've been told that I'm having some issues with my YouTube. I'm going to go back and look at it. I'm going to see if I can clean it up. But I'm going to say this anyway. I go back and forth with YouTube and Facebook because it needs to be said. And as Martin said, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? And as a result, I have problems with my show from time to time, especially when I say something that the so-called progressive media doesn't want to be said either. So Maybe that now that YouTube is going mainstream, maybe they don't like the message that I have. So maybe there's going to be some differences moving forward. I don't know, but I'm going to get the message out one way or the other. With that, I'm going to say, see you next week, right here, same Baptiste time, same Baptiste place. With that, I'm going to say, as always, imparting, I wish you love. I wish you peace. Let's go see what they're going to say on these hearings. Hair grease. I'm out of here. Good night. See, from my side, this YouTube looks good, but I'll check it out in a minute.